Imagine the universe popping into existence, starting from an infinitely small point and transforming into what it is today, silently and without fanfare. But could all of this be a carefully packaged story that just happens to be comprehensible to humans? The truth might be far more bizarre than we can imagine. Over the next 40 minutes, I hope to take you on a joyful journey of cosmic exploration, and I wish you sweet dreams. When you look up at the night sky, the stars, galaxies, and cosmic dust you can see account for less than 5% of the total mass energy of the universe. What about the remaining mysterious 95%? They are dark matter, dark energy, both invisible and hard to detect, and the omnipresent quantum fields. Is there a profound pattern hidden behind all this? A precise code? A breathtaking mathematical precision so perfect that it can't possibly be random chance? Or is it the product of deliberate design? When we try to examine the universe we inhabit through the lens of cutting-edge scientific hypotheses and profound philosophical thinking, your established perceptions may be completely upended. First, let's attempt to decipher the universe using mathematics as our key. You will find that in the physical equations that describe the universe's operations with extreme precision, the tiniest change in any fundamental constant could cause the entire fabric of our reality to collapse. Take gravity, for example. If its strength were to increase by a mere 1% of 1 in 100 million, stars would burn too quickly, planets could never form, and life as we know it would cease to exist. This is the first cosmic paradox we must confront. Our existence hangs on the needle's tip of a series of perfectly calibrated physical constants. This extreme precision strongly suggests the presence of design. Yet science tells us that this apparent perfection might merely be a statistical stroke of luck. In an infinite multiverse, if it exists, countless failed realities with chaotic physical parameters abound, and we just happen to live in the lucky one with the right parameters. Between these two explanations, which do you find more plausible? You might wonder, if the universe was designed, who or what is the designer? And if such a designer exists, who or what designed the designer? At this point, we seem inevitably trapped in an infinite nested logical loop. Perhaps this is why we have no choice but to acknowledge the limits of our understanding, to admit that in the face of the universe's mysteries, we are like ants trying to comprehend the structure of a skyscraper. Even Albert Einstein, widely regarded as one of the most brilliant minds ever, felt the inadequacy of existing theories when confronted with the mysteries of time and space. He viewed space as a vast mental construct warped by mass and energy. Near a black hole, time slows to a near standstill. If you traveled at the speed of light, time would stop entirely. And at the moment of the Big Bang, the very concept of time as we understand it may not have existed at all. Thus, there was no definable before the universe's initial expansion. To ask what happened before the Big Bang is perhaps like asking what lies north of the North Pole, a question rooted in our daily experience but meaningless under the extreme conditions of the universe. The physical rules and logical intuitions we once trusted completely fail us when we confront the fundamental nature of the universe's origin. So, if you could reverse the flow of time and return to that infinitely dense starting point of the universe, what would you see? A moment of creation, or a state beyond our wildest imagination, transcending all current understanding? Regarding the universe's origin, some physicists have proposed bold hypotheses, such as the cyclic universe theory. Let's also reflect on your own existence. Every atom in your body was forged billions of years ago in the scorching core of a dying star. It's no exaggeration to say that you are part of the universe's evolution, and the universe seems to observe and experience itself through this strange phenomenon we call consciousness. Is this deep, intrinsic connection between our physical bodies and the vast universe merely a random coincidence, or evidence of a grander design? When we delve into the microscopic world, the picture revealed by quantum physics overturns our traditional understanding of reality and nothingness. It tells us that even what we think of as an empty space is actually filled with unceasing activity. Virtual particles pop into existence and vanish in an instant in a vacuum. Quantum fields fluctuate constantly. Beneath the seemingly smooth and calm surface of the vacuum lies a dynamic reality boiling, churning, and brimming with infinite possibilities. Thus, the absolute nothingness in our traditional concept may not exist at all at the quantum level. Yet all the known laws of physics we currently grasp completely break down at the extreme moment of the Big Bang. Our mathematical tools and theoretical frameworks cannot describe what happened there. We seem to have reached the boundary of human knowledge. Is that hypothetical designer hiding in this mathematical starting point that our current physics cannot penetrate? Or does this merely mark the limit of humanity's current understanding? Whichever the case, it inspires a deep sense of awe and ignorance. If we insist on introducing the concept of a cosmic designer, it often raises more intractable questions than it answers. For instance, if the designer carefully fine-tuned the universe's parameters to allow life to emerge, why does life seem so rare, even nearly non-existent in our vast observable universe? Most of the universe's environments are extremely harsh and hostile to life as we know it. Even on our lucky planet Earth, an estimated 99% of all species that ever existed have gone extinct forever. Is this evidence of intelligent design, or rather evidence of its absence? Perhaps this is simply because our perspective is too limited. We are carbon-based life forms that evolved on a rocky planet orbiting a stable star. Naturally, our definition of life and understanding of consciousness are constrained by our own form of existence. But what if life could take forms we cannot yet imagine? What if consciousness could emerge in the scorching plasma inside stars, or in the ultra-cold gas of interstellar clouds? What if the universe itself possesses a diffuse form of consciousness that we cannot currently comprehend? In the face of such questions, the line between bold scientific speculation and cutting-edge physics is becoming increasingly blurred. Let's delve deeper into another great mystery shrouding the universe: dark energy. This mysterious, invisible force seems to be driving the universe's accelerated expansion. Current estimates suggest it accounts for a staggering 68% of the universe's total mass energy. Yet we still know almost nothing about what it actually is. Even more puzzling is that dark energy's strength also appears to be perfectly calibrated, allowing galaxies enough time to form in the early universe without being torn apart by expansion before they could stabilize. Is this another coincidence that allows our existence, or a key clue to the nature of reality? Closely linked to dark energy is dark matter, which makes up about 27% of the universe's total mass energy. It, too, is invisible, intangible, and impossible to directly detect, but its powerful gravitational effects play a crucial role in shaping the universe's large-scale structure. Like an invisible cosmic scaffold, without this gravitational framework formed by dark matter, galaxies would disintegrate, stars could never condense from primordial gas clouds, and we would never have appeared on the cosmic stage. Consider this: ordinary matter, the stuff of everything we can see, makes up less than 5% of the universe's total mass energy. We, and everything we are familiar with, are the true exceptions in this universe, not the rule. And the fact that we humans, with brains composed of a mere 5% of the universe's matter, can even attempt to understand all this is perhaps one of the greatest mysteries of the universe. Why would a human brain evolve to survive, reproduce, and avoid predators on Earth, develop abstract thinking, and master profound theories like quantum mechanics and general relativity, which describe the universe's most extreme states? How is it that the abstract mathematical models we create, products of pure human thought, can so accurately capture the deepest workings of physical reality? Does this suggest that our way of thinking is somehow aligned with the universe's inherent design or logic? Or is this just another coincidence that reality happens to use mathematics as its fundamental language? When the double-slit experiment revealed that the behavior of microscopic particles changes fundamentally depending on whether they are observed, our understanding of reality was impacted like never before. Reality itself seems to change based on whether we are watching it. What does this tell us about the incredible connection between consciousness and the physical world? Is the observer somehow fundamental to the construction of reality? To explain these perplexing quantum phenomena, physicists have proposed a variety of bold quantum interpretations. Some argue that consciousness causes the collapse of the quantum wave function. Essentially, that observation brings a definite reality into existence. Others, like the famous many-worlds interpretation, suggest that every quantum possibility spawns its own universe, creating an infinitely branching multiverse where every possible outcome occurs somewhere. Still, other interpretations focus on quantum entanglement, the spooky action at a distance, as Einstein called it, where two entangled particles, no matter how far apart, seem to instantly sense each other's state changes, defying our intuitive understanding of causality. All these interpretations are mathematically consistent, yet the pictures of reality they paint are all profoundly bizarre. If the multiverse theory is correct, our universe is just one bubble in an infinite sea of cosmic bubbles. Each bubble could have its own unique physical constants, fundamental laws, and evolutionary history. In this case, the breathtaking harmony of our universe is not evidence of design, but rather a result of selection bias. We find ourselves in a universe with physical parameters suitable for life simply because, in other universes with chaotic parameters where life cannot exist, there are no observers to ask, why is our universe so special? This is the so-called anthropic principle, which offers a seemingly scientific alternative to the design argument. Yet for now, both the high and mighty designer and the multiverse hidden beyond our world lie far beyond the reach of direct verification or falsification by current scientific experiments. Wetiny specks of dust forged by the evolution of countless stars over billions of years possess a mind that dares to peer into the universe's depths and contemplate its entirety. From this seemingly humble perspective, we pose ultimate questions about the universe itself and the meaning of our existence. There also seems to be a fascinating symmetry between the universe's largest and smallest scales. The large-scale structure of the universe, we observe the cosmic web of countless galaxy clusters stretching billions of light-years, bears a striking resemblance to the complex network of interconnected neurons in our brains. At the other extreme, the churning quantum foam of space-time at the Planck scale seems to echo this complex network structure in some theoretical descriptions. Are these similarities across countless orders of magnitude mere coincidences, or do they hint that reality itself has a profound fractal nature where the same patterns repeat and manifest themselves from the tiniest quantum level to the largest cosmic scale? Some theoretical physicists have even boldly proposed that the matter and energy we perceive may not be the most fundamental components of reality. Instead, reality may be composed entirely of information. The universe itself is not so much an entity made of physical particles and fields as it is a vast information processing system, a grand cosmic computation, or an exquisitely crafted simulation. From this perspective, the fundamental particles we observe and the forces between them may be nothing more than manifestations of information being encoded, transmitted, and processed at the most basic level. If this conjecture is true, the universe's designer might be more like a skilled programmer than a traditional creator deity. But questions remain: who wrote the code that runs the universe? And on what kind of unimaginable hardware is it running? Once again, we seem trapped in that familiar infinite nested logical loop. At this point, you might be thinking, are we overcomplicating things? Are we unconsciously projecting concepts of design and purpose shaped by our experiences in human society onto a cosmic reality that may transcend these limited categories entirely? Perhaps the universe simply exists, plain and simple, without a predetermined reason or hidden intent. All our questions, confusions, and exclamations may be nothing more than the wishful thinking of a mind eager to understand, faced with vast unknowns. Yet just as we try to simplify the universe's complexity by dismissing it as mere existence, the universe presents us with new puzzles, leading us into another fundamental yet paradox-ridden realm, the world of entropy. The second law of thermodynamics clearly states that in any isolated closed system, the overall degree of disorder, or entropy, always increases irreversibly. If the universe is viewed as a closed system, it should also follow this rule, moving from order to disorder, eventually reaching a state of heat death. Yet against this backdrop, way highly ordered, extremely complex life forms exist miraculously in a universe that should be trending toward chaos. Life itself seems to be a strange phenomenon that struggles to resist the tide of entropy in local regions. Living things create and maintain their own organization and complexity by utilizing external energy flows. For example, Earth's life uses solar energy. However, this local decrease in entropy comes at the cost of a greater increase in entropy in the larger system, and it depends on an open system and a continuous energy gradient. The Sun provides this energy gradient for life on Earth, but what provided the initial low entropy starting point and the continuous energy gradient for the universe itself? If entropy always increases, does this mean the universe must have begun in a state of extremely low entropy, that is, extreme order? Why would it start in such a statistically unlikely initial state? To explain this mystery of the early universe's low entropy, some physicists argue it could be evidence for a cyclic universe model where the universe undergoes cycles of birth, expansion, contraction, and rebirth, with black holes possibly playing a key role in resetting entropy. Others suggest that our observable universe may be just a chance low-entropy region within a larger universe. Still another view holds that the arrow of time, our perception that time flows unidirectionally from past to future, is fundamentally a macroscopic manifestation of the universe's overall entropy increase. In a hypothetical region where entropy decreases, time might appear to flow backward. Next, let's consider a more unsettling paradox, the Boltzmann brain paradox. This thought experiment argues that if the universe exists for a sufficiently long time and occupies a sufficiently large space, then according to statistical mechanics and quantum fluctuations, it is theoretically possible for a brain complete with memories and conscious experiences to assemble itself randomly from particle collisions. This Boltzmann brain would exist for only a fleeting moment, yet its subjective experience could be identical to yours right now. From a purely statistical perspective, the probability of a random fluctuation producing such an isolated brain with false memories is far greater than the probability of producing a fully ordered universe like ours, with a long evolutionary history. Does this mean you are more likely to be a short-lived Boltzmann brain experiencing an illusory reality than a real individual existing in a real universe? The cold mathematical reasoning seems to point to this disturbing conclusion, which is why physicists consider this a profound paradox that demands resolution. Notably, the universe exhibits drastically different behaviors at different observational scales. On the macroscopic scale, everything seems to follow deterministic physical laws. With sufficiently precise initial conditions and computing power, we can predict future states with remarkable accuracy. Yet when we enter the microscopic quantum scale, determinism vanishes, replaced by an inherent, inescapable randomness. We can never predict exactly where an electron will appear next, only calculate the probability of its location. Some philosophers and theologians even see in this the possibility of free will, arguing that this quantum randomness and uncertainty could be a mechanism that transcends physical laws, subtly influencing and shaping reality without directly violating known laws. So, is this randomness at the heart of reality the universe's true nature, or just a manifestation of a deeper determinism? Or is it truly a source of freedom? What is the essence of this mechanism? If quantum randomness is already perplexing, the concept of infinity when tied to the universe's scale and possibilities may be the greatest challenge to our limited human understanding. Some models in modern cosmology suggest the universe could be infinite. Beyond the observable universe, space may extend infinitely in all directions. If the universe is indeed infinite, a dizzying implication follows inevitably from probability theory. In an infinitely large space, any finite configuration of matter with a non-zero probability of existing must repeat infinitely many times. This means that in some distant corner of the vast cosmos, there must be another Earth almost identical to ours, with another you who shares your exact genes, memories, and may even be pondering the same questions right now. This is not sensational science fiction, but a logical deduction based on the premise of infinite space and finite possible arrangements of matter. Does this cosmic scale infinite repetition give more meaning to your existence, or does it instead make your uniqueness seem trivial? Are you one of a kind, or merely a pattern instance that the universe accidentally produces and repeats infinitely in its eternal random combinations? Even if our universe is finite in space, it could be infinite in time, either extending endlessly into the future or undergoing infinite cycles of cosmic rebirth. Furthermore, if the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics is correct, reality branches infinitely like a tree with every microscopic quantum event, creating an infinitely vast multiverse of possibilities, infinity upon infinity upon infinity. Our minds, with their limited cognitive abilities, are nearly powerless when trying to grasp such dizzying, nested concepts of infinity. Is infinity itself a key to understanding the deepest nature of cosmic reality, or merely a mathematical abstraction that fails when our physical theories and mathematical tools reach their limits of applicability? At this point, you might ask, What does all these grand discussions about the universe have to do with the daily life of an ordinary person like me? Consider this: every atom in your body was forged billions of years ago in the scorching cores of long-dead stars. The iron in your blood and the calcium in your bones were once part of stars in the depths of the universe. On this most fundamental level, you are not an isolated individual separate from the vast universe. You are an inherent, indivisible part of it. The universe observes itself, experiences and understands the world through highly concentrated conscious beings like you, composed of its own matter. Whether all this is the product of careful design or pure coincidence, the fact that you exist as a conscious being capable of pondering these profound questions at this moment in cosmic history is in itself a miracle worth marveling at and cherishing. Yet the most fundamental mysteries of the universe remain unsolved. We still don't know why the universe exists rather than not existing. Why are the physical constants that govern the universe exactly what they are? Is our universe unique, or just one of countless possible universes in a broader multiverse? Does it have a clear beginning, or has it existed eternally? Is consciousness an emergent phenomenon of highly complex matter, or a more fundamental property of the universe? Is there an ultimate purpose hidden behind the reality we inhabit, or does it simply exist without any predetermined meaning or direction? These vast gaps in our understanding may be filled by science in the distant future, or they may represent fundamental limits to the cognitive abilities of a species like ours, mysteries we will never fully unravel. Even the question we have been asking, who or what designed the universe, may be fundamentally flawed in its formulation. Does this question unconsciously assume anthropocentric ideas that may not apply to the universe's ultimate reality? Humans are accustomed to thinking about the world in terms of cause and effect, beginnings and endings, intentions and purposes, but the universe's fundamental operating principles may far exceed the intuitions and categories derived from our macroscopic experiences. Think of quantum entanglement, where particles influence each other instantly regardless of distance, challenging our traditional notions of local causality. Think of general relativity, which reveals that space and time are unified into a dynamic four-dimensional space-time structure, upending our understanding of before and after. If theoretically possible closed time-like curves exist, the very concept of a first cause would lose its meaning. Thus, the universe may not be something designed by an external intelligence, as we imagine it. Instead, it may be more like a spontaneous, intrinsic, emergent phenomenon similar to the intricate frost patterns on a winter window, crystallizing and growing spontaneously from quantum potentialities and basic interaction rules. Perhaps the universe is self-generated through a cosmic bootstrap paradox, creating the initial conditions for its own existence in a causal loop that transcends our linear concept of time. Or maybe the universe's evolution is analogous to natural selection among countless cosmic seeds, those with physical parameters conducive to complexity and life survive and evolve. Of course, we cannot rule out another possibility: a designer does exist, but not as a traditional anthropomorphic deity. Instead, it could be a cosmic-level intelligence or fundamental principle operating at a higher dimension or deeper level that we cannot yet comprehend. If such a cosmic intelligence exists, how do we explain the contradiction between the expectations of the Drake equation and the Great Silence? The Drake equation often estimates that there could be thousands or even millions of intelligent civilizations in the Milky Way. Yet to date, the universe has remained silent to us. Does this Great Silence mean technological civilizations inevitably destroy themselves? Or are there fundamental barriers to interstellar communication or travel? Are we truly alone? Or, more unsettlingly, have advanced civilizations chosen to hide themselves for some reason? If we are indeed alone, the only intelligent life in our observable universe, what does this imply for the debate about design? Shouldn't a carefully designed universe be filled with life and intelligence? Or could a single intelligent species capable of reflecting on the universe itself be the ultimate goal of the entire cosmic design? Conversely, if the universe is not designed, should we expect life to be common or extremely rare? Puzzlingly, whether extraterrestrial intelligence exists or not, it fails to provide a clear answer to whether the universe is designed. It merely reframes this ancient mystery from a new perspective. Now, let's make an even bolder assumption: if intelligent life more advanced than us exists in the universe, they may have long transcended the biological limitations we understand, entering a new phase of post-biological evolution through advanced technology. The existence and communication methods of such civilizations could be completely beyond our imagination. They might have uploaded their consciousness into artificial systems or evolved into energy-based life forms, inhabiting the interiors of stars or the event horizons of black holes. Their perception of time and operational scales could be so different from ours that our decades of radio astronomy observations are utterly insufficient to detect any trace of their existence. The universe's apparent darkness and silence may hide cosmic intelligence beyond our current cognitive abilities. Going further, what if the universe itself is a form of intelligence or consciousness at its most fundamental level? Panpsychism, an ancient philosophical idea, has regained attention in recent years. It holds that consciousness is not merely a product of complex material systems like the brain, but a more fundamental and universal property of the universe, inherent in matter itself. Modern consciousness theories like integrated information theory (IT) attempt to understand consciousness from the perspective of information processing, arguing that consciousness arises from a system's ability to integrate information. This complex information processing occurs not only in human brains but also in many other natural systems, even the universe as a whole. If this theory is correct, could the universe as a whole constitute a vast cosmic mind with a form of integrated consciousness beyond our imagination? And could our individual human consciousness be nothing more than tiny thinking nodes within this grand cosmic mind? These speculations may sound far-fetched, but they are discussed seriously precisely because they highlight the most fundamental and perplexing mystery at the core of our existence: consciousness itself. The subjective world each of us experiences directly remains unexplained by even our most advanced physical theories. How does the objective material brain produce subjective first-person experiences? This fundamental question, known to philosophers as the hard problem of consciousness, may be the key not only to understanding the brain but also to understanding reality itself. If consciousness is truly a fundamental property of the universe, rather than a mere accidental emergent phenomenon of complex matter, the universe we inhabit no longer resembles a cold, soulless machine. It becomes a vivid expression of something filled with inner spirit, or even a grand mind in its own right. When we delve into the nature of consciousness, the line between science and philosophy becomes increasingly blurred. Some physicists, starting from the nature of time, have proposed a view that overturns our daily experience. Our perception of the flow of time may be nothing more than a subjective cognitive illusion. In a theoretical model known as the block universe, the past, present, and future all exist equally in a higher dimensional, static four-dimensional space-time structure. Your birth, your entire life, your death, and this very moment when you are reading these words are merely points at different positions in this eternally existing four-dimensional space-time block. In this picture, there is no true happening or change. Everything simply exists eternally. This highly deterministic cosmic model seems to support the design hypothesis. The universe is like a cosmic epic where all plots and endings are already written. Yet this view also immediately raises profound philosophical questions about the existence of human free will and the meaning of our lives. In stark contrast, other physicists have proposed almost the opposite view. The future is not fully determined but remains open, shaped in part by the choices and actions of conscious beings in the universe. A classic example is the participatory anthropic principle proposed by physicist John Wheeler. He boldly argued that the existence and actions of observers, especially conscious ones, are essential for the universe to condense from quantum potential into the definite reality we perceive. There may be a profound cosmic feedback loop between consciousness and reality. In Wheeler's own words, the universe gave birth to consciousness, but consciousness gives meaning to the universe. This view offers a fascinating middle ground between pure design and pure chance. The universe's evolution may be shaped in part by its inherent physical necessity, in part by unpredictable quantum randomness, and in part by the participation of conscious beings. It has nurtured beings capable of observation and choice. Now, let's confront some strange phenomena that challenge our sense of reality's stability, such as the so-called Mandela effect. This refers to a phenomenon where a significant number of people share clear but false collective memories of a historical event or detail that never actually happened. Are these collective memory biases merely due to the unreliability of human memory, people just happening to misremember? Or could there be something more bizarre behind them? Some bold speculation suggests that consciousness may not be entirely confined to our single physical universe. In the context of a multiverse, could consciousness, under extremely rare and special circumstances, jump between parallel universes with very similar properties, accidentally bringing memory fragments from one reality into another? Others argue that reality itself may be more fluid and malleable than we imagine, deeply influenced by our conscious states and observations. While mainstream science currently prefers to explain such anomalies through the fallibility of human memory, these unusual phenomena should at least remind us to reflect on how much of the reality we perceive is actively constructed by our brains and consciousness, rather than merely a passive reflection of the external world. Next, let's enter an even more subversive realm of conjecture. What if our entire universe, including ourselves, is just an extremely complex computer simulation? Everything we experience is merely code running on an unimaginably powerful cosmic supercomputer. This idea, known as the simulation hypothesis, has gained increasing attention in recent years among top physicists, computer scientists, and philosophers. Its core logic is this: if a civilization develops to a sufficiently advanced technological level, it will almost certainly gain the ability to create highly realistic simulations and may create an enormous number of them. Statistically speaking, we are far more likely to live in one of these countless simulated universes than in the single base reality. If we do live in a simulation, the identity of the designer becomes concrete. They are the programmers who wrote the code for our cosmic simulation. But this still does not truly solve the ultimate question of the original designer. It merely pushes the question back one step. Once again, we find ourselves trapped in that familiar infinite nested logical loop. Perhaps all these questions about the universe ultimately converge on one most profound mystery: why does anything exist, rather than eternal nothingness? Why is there something instead of nothing? This question has puzzled philosophers for thousands of years. Some theories in modern physics, such as descriptions of vacuum quantum fluctuations in quantum field theory, seem to suggest that nothingness may be fundamentally unstable, and quantum fluctuations inevitably produce something from nothing. But this actually only pushes the fundamental question back further. Why does this quantum vacuum, which can produce something, exist? Why do the physical laws that govern the universe exist? Why is the structure and laws of the reality we inhabit constructed in a way that allows the emergence and evolution of complex structures and ultimately consciousness? No known scientific theory can fully answer these ultimate questions about the origin of existence from first principles. For any scientific explanation must presuppose the existence of something. This ultimate mystery of why existence itself exists may be the final, most metaphysical expression of the question of cosmic design. After layers of inquiry and reflection, we may no longer be asking who or what designed the universe, but rather why there is a universe at all for us to discuss whether it was designed, how it evolved, or why it exists in its particular way. If there is indeed a cosmic-level purpose or deeper intent hidden behind the reality we perceive, it may be far beyond the comprehension of our limited human mind, so much so that the questions we pose seem childish in its presence. It would be like trying to understand physics using the language and logic of an ant. Alternatively, there may be another possibility: the state of existence is the only logically possible state, and the nothingness is merely an illusory concept born from the limitations of human thinking. When we stand bravely at the forefront of human knowledge, gazing into the abyss of the universe's unfathomable mysteries, we are forced to confront a humbling truth: the greatest value of the little knowledge we have gained may be that it makes us more acutely aware of how vast our ignorance is. Almost every question we struggle to answer immediately gives rise to more complex new questions. Every major scientific discovery expands our cognitive horizons, yet inevitably reveals even broader realms of ignorance. The universe is not only stranger than we can imagine, it may be stranger than the very act of imagination, limited by our specific human cognitive abilities, can ever grasp. Whether it was carefully designed by some transcendent intelligence, emerged naturally through inherent physical necessity, arose randomly from pure cosmic chance, or exists in a way that completely transcends all our current categories and is beyond our ability to describe, reality, the universe that includes us, remains the ultimate great mystery, waiting for us to explore and interpret it endlessly. We are not mere spectators outside this puzzle, who are an indispensable part of this grand mystery. Yet remarkably, despite facing such profound unknowns and immense difficulties, humans have never stopped asking questions, never given up exploring, and never lost that curiosity inherent in life. Perhaps this unceasing curiosity, this unyielding spirit of inquiry, contains profound meaning in itself. Perhaps one of the most fundamental drivers of the evolution of consciousness is to think about and understand the universe that gave it life. Perhaps we're conscious beings with self-awareness and the ability to reflect to the universe's way of knowing itself and exploring its own mysteries. Like billions of eyes opening simultaneously in the endless darkness, we gaze outward at the vast stars and inward at the abyss of consciousness, together pursuing the answer to the initial question that began our journey of exploration: who or what designed this universe? The answer to this question may never be settled, but the process of exploration is meaningful in itself. Thank you for listening. I hope this journey of cosmic reflection has inspired you. Good night, and sweet dreams.